Members by the superintendent, followed by the reading of the school board prayer by myself and the leading of the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Joshua Hebert, Vice President.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. Meyer?
Here.
Mrs. Barra?
Here.
Ms. Boutin?
Here.
Mr. Hebert?
Here.
Mr. Washington?
Here.
Mrs. Hood?
Here.
Mrs. Arso? Mrs. Dugas? Madam President, you have a quorum.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today with hearts full of gratitude for all the blessings you have poured out on our school district. Thank you for the opportunities to serve, grow, and guide our community in a way that honors you. We praise you for the wonderful things happening in our schools, the successes in the classroom, the achievements in athletics, school clubs, and the arts, and the connections being made in every corner of our system. Tonight, we also pray and bring before you the graduating seniors. As they prepare to step into the next chapter of their lives, we ask for your guidance and protection. Bless them with courage, wisdom, and perseverance. Lord, bless this meeting and guide our discussions. May everything we do and say be a reflection of your love and your purpose for this community. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now have an adoption of the agenda. I need a motion. So moved by Ms. Orso, second by Mr. Washington. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 3, consent agenda. A, minutes of April 16, 2025 school board meeting and the adoption of consent agenda.
Second.
By Ms. Orso, second by Mr. Hebert. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on, reports and recognition. A, receive administration personnel report. We all have a copy in our folders. You can view it at your leisure. B, adopt a resolution of sympathy for Mr. Alfred Diggs.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll read the resolution. Whereas we, the members of Assumption Parish School Board, have learned of the untimely death of Mr. Alfred Diggs, an outstanding employee and citizen of Assumption Parish. And whereas by his devotion and loyalty, he had come to be recognized as a most valuable asset to the Assumption Parish family of public educators. And whereas Mr. Diggs served Assumption Parish School Board for 13 years. Whereas his life was a record of service and devotion to children, community, and family, his laws will be shared by all who cherish the education of the young, especially the young of Assumption Parish. Now therefore be it resolved that the Assumption Parish School Board deeply regrets the untimely loss of a true friend and servant to public education and offers his family our deepest sympathy in their time of grief. Be it further resolved that a copy of this expression of sympathy is presented to the family with our deepest condolences. Do you have any family members here this afternoon? While the family members are coming forward, Mr. Diggs served Assumption Parish School System for 13 years as a custodian. At this time, we're going to give any family member would like to say something. We have the opportunity to say
something. Look on the other side, man. Look right there. You know what?
That's okay, baby. Thank God I have a voice.
There you go.
Oh, I just want to let y'all know that my husband was a loving man, a family man,
Amen.
a father, grandfather, great grandfather. But most of all, when he got down sick, he was still trying to be himself, but it was hard. He had dementia for about 3 years. Then it got real hard for me. But I can say this, I thank God for my children, my family, my 3 daughters. They come in and they took turns helping me with him. And I had surgery on one of my knees, and I couldn't do what I wanted to do. But I prayed and asked God to give me the strength to do what I can do. And I always did tell him, till death do us part. I will be there for him. And I was. And I was so thankful and grateful, the man that he was. He was a father that worked. Not just one job, he had 2 jobs to support his family. And I just want to thank you all for inviting us here today. And God bless you all. And I love you from my heart. I love you all.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much.
My children went to school here in Assumption. They give a little trouble, but when they called, the teacher did call me, they know I was coming right. Because like I say, you got more time with that teacher than what I do. You did it, yes you did.
She's speaking on you up
It went right behind his head. I don't play that. I believe the teacher. I don't believe nothing they say.
You want a job? You want a job?
That's the kind of mother I was. I love y'all.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. That's a parent that know their kids. Bro.
Yeah.
C, adopt a resolution of sympathy for Ms. Sharon Claymore.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam President. Resolution reads as such. Whereas we, the members of Assumption Parish School Board, have learned of the untimely death of Ms. Sharon Claymore, an outstanding employee and citizen of Assumption Parish. Whereas by her devotion and loyalty, she had come to be recognized as a most valuable asset to the Assumption Parish family of public educators. And whereas Mrs. Claymore served Assumption Parish School Board for 35 years. And whereas her life was a record of service and devotion to children, community, and family, her loss will be shared by all who cherish the education of the young, especially the young of Assumption Parish. Now therefore it be resolved that the Assumption Parish School Board deeply regrets the untimely loss of a true friend and servant to public education and offers her family our deepest sympathy in a time of grief. Be it further resolved that a copy of this expression of sympathy is presented to the family with our deepest condolences. And I want to say Mrs. Claymore served Assumption Parish School System for 35 years as a teacher. Ms. Claymore family's here? Yep.
Well, I'll just say thank y'all for honoring our mom tonight. I don't want to cry, but anyway, she loved teaching, and she was getting back into helping with the grandkids and always going into Napoleonville Primary. So anyway, thank y'all.
Thank you.
I told Justin when I told him hello, I said, you guys know I like to cry, so I'm going to try not to. I will just say that your mother was just one of a kind. Everybody, a lot of people in this room had been touched by her and been taught by her. One of a kind, really. Big loss, and I was behind her in car line the last couple of years in the mornings too with the kids, and we talked, every week or so, and she's an amazing lady, one of a kind. Thank y'all for sharing with her with us. And for the experience that we had up here too with her too.
What a lady. D, recognize and honor Pierreport Elementary School baseball team as parish and tournament champs.
Good evening. I'd like to ask Coach Josh George to come to the podium. Gentlemen, we will call your name. You'll come up to the podium. I will hand you your certificates, and please remain standing for the picture afterwards. Coach, if you would do us the honor of announcing the names, and then if you have anything that you wish to share afterwards, you will.
So let's see who we got here. We got Carla Tompley, Graham Alamo, Piers Blanchard, Zach Charlie, Luke George, Ridge Landry, and Maddox Prater.
On behalf of Dr. John Bartholomew and Assumption Parish School Board, it is my honor to recognize the Pierreport Baseball Bulldogs for being the parish and tournament champions for the 2024-2025 season. So please give them another round of applause.
Congratulations, fellas.
I just want to say thank y'all for having us. And to these guys here, the hard work that they've been putting in, you know, most of them have had, what's been 4 years now. I was assistant coach, took over as the head coach this year, but, you know, the work they put in off the field and on the field is something to be proud of. So, you know, I do want to thank y'all for allowing me to coach them, and, you know, it's where we are. Go Bulldogs.
On behalf of the school board, I'd like to congratulations to our district parish champs, and we look for, I guess, a bright future, right? You know, moving forward when it comes to baseball. So thank you guys for the work that you put in. Coach, thank you, and also thank to all the parents too, because I know that it's a team effort and everybody's involved. So congratulations once again. Thank you for your efforts and congratulations.
E, recognize and honor Pierreport Elementary School softball team as parish and tournament champs.
At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Jessica Thibodeau in stand of Coach Christy Cavier and also Ms. Nicole Pipser, who could not be here this evening.
Kate Alvarado, Macy Blanchard, Janie Brew, Lainey Shorley, Camille Chisholm, Aubrey Claymore, Madison Coupel, Aubrey Crochet, Jordan Dagg, Anna Hugh, Hudson Landry, Addison Mullane, Amelia Marix, Wesley Myers, Haley Urso, Caitlin Cavier, Kindler Danino, Chloe Gaspar, and Delasia Gray.
All right, on behalf of Dr. John Bartholomew and Assumption Parish Schools, it's my honor to recognize the Pierreport Lady Bulldog softball team for being the 2024-2025 Parish and Tournament champions.
Catch you. Again, on behalf of the school board, on behalf of the school board, I'd like to say congratulations to our softball champions, the middle school level, to our Pierre Part students. Congratulations.
Recognize and honor AHS BAS team members Ridge Mobile and Evan Oakland for placing state runner-up at the 2025 BAS State Championship.
Good afternoon. I'm Brad with Assumption Bass Club. We'd like to take this time to recognize these two seniors and their outstanding accomplishments. Ridge has fished with the Bass Club for the last 4 years and Evan the past 3. They have fished together for the past 2 years and have done extremely well since they teamed up. The Bass Club travels across the state and competes in 9 tournaments against over 150 teams per tournament and some over 200. Last year, they had 4 top 25 finishes, 2 of which were third place. They qualified for state and nationals through multiple trails. They finished the year in total points. They finished third in total points out of over 300 teams from across the state.
Wow.
This year, they qualified and were invited to fish the High School Bassmaster Classic in Fort Worth, Texas, and finished 7th. At the event, they got to meet professional anglers and weigh in on the biggest stage in professional fishing. What a great experience. They had 3 top 20 finishes, which one was 5th place that qualified them for state. The state championship was on Lake Dawbone, where they finished state run-up. They had the heaviest limit on day 1 with over 18 pounds and finished with a 2-day total weight of over 28 pounds. They finished the year in top 25 in total points out of over 300 teams. They were also the AHS Bass Club Anglers of the Year the past 2 years. Congratulations again on 2025 BSS State Run-Ups.
Congratulations, John. Y'all want to say anything? Y'all, I know Coach said a lot.
Well, I just want to get down from up there.
Guys, I did ask when the fish fry was, but I was told that they can't keep them, so sorry about that.
We were rooting for y'all because I think the last day they weighed in, they were winning. They was in first place, if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, yeah, yeah. And then that's out of your control because guys come in after and they weigh in. But we were definitely rooting for y'all. And again, on behalf of the school board, congratulations, outstanding job.
Recognize and honor AHS students for placing at the State Literary Rally.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The State Literary Rally is an academic high school competition hosted by the Louisiana High School Rally Association where students compete in a variety of academic events, literary elements, speech, drama, and as you'll see, facts and ag. Students are nominated by their teachers. They go to Nichols for a district competition, and the top scorers at district then go to the state level. And we are very proud to announce that we have 3 state finishers. In Division 2, Kennedy Crochet placed 3rd in Ag 1. Come up when your name is called. Second place in Division 2, we had Sophie Miller in Facts. And first place, who also received a $500 scholarship because she was first over all 5 divisions in Ag 3, and that was Miss Anna Hebert. Congratulations, ladies.
All right.
Get in this picture if it's all right.
You're the star.
Thank y'all.
On behalf of the school board, we'd like to say congratulations, outstanding job.
Recognize and honor Assumption High School softball team for placing second at state competition, #1 in our hearts.
All right. Definitely. Doc, coach, somebody.
I wasn't prepared for this. My wife warned me, but I don't have anything to talk. I don't have anything written. So I want to start off by first thanking Coach Dr. Crochet and Coach Tara for giving me this opportunity to coach this wonderful group. If you didn't get a chance to see them, you missed out. They special. You know, I met with the seniors before the season started, and they don't even remember this, okay? This is how long ago this was. We had 3 goals. And the first goal was 25 wins. The second goal was have a first-round bye in the playoff. And the third goal was simply to make it to Sulphur. And you're probably thinking, why just make it to Sulphur? Well, if we don't make it to Sulphur, we can't win the state championship.
That's right.
That has never happened in 41 years of the program. So I figured once we get to Sulphur, anything can happen. This team finished 30-6. Let that sink in. 30 wins, 6 losses. 6 of those losses a combined 11 runs.
Wow.
3 games in extra innings, 4 games by 1 run. They were unbelievable. Their drive, their determination, their commitment by themselves and their parents was second to none. People don't realize in this game, you can't get better at practice. You have to get extra practice. And those girls got extra practice. I was on that field on a Sunday afternoon and watched a mama feeding a machine to her daughter. I seen boyfriends pitching balls to their girlfriends. That's how committed they were. I don't know if this ever happened again, but I hope it happens again next year.
Yes, sir.
And I hope they come back with the state championship. We have the talent here in the parish. We have the talent here in the parish to do it, and I'm so proud of them. These 7 seniors were leaders, and that's all I asked them to be, is leaders. We never, ever, ever asked them to win a game. We only asked them to compete, and they'll all tell you. If we compete, we had a chance. And ultimately, what was our goals, girls? Every game, to go 1-0. And that's how we got to 30. We just wanted to go 1-0. And they came through. So thank y'all for having us. Thank y'all for recognizing us.
Coach. Coach, I'm sure these young ladies in coming this far without getting recognized. Give us their names. Let's stand them. Give us their names.
All right, we're going to start with our freshman, Daisy Rivera. Stand up, Daisy. Come on, Daisy. I don't have a certificate. That's middle school. Payson LeBlanc. Haley Joa. Izzy Domain. That's it, right? Our sophomores. Kendra Bason. London Penison. That's her. That's her. Come on, girl. Get up here. Lilia Alamo. Remember that name. What's our juniors? Kinley Grisafi. Whitney Diaz, Laney Leonard, Bailey Callaghan. And our 7 seniors, Ella Mobile, Livy Thibodeau, Braley Alamont, Anna Diaz, Addison Uso, Peyton Norvell, and last but not least, Abigail Alamont. And of course, I couldn't have done this without my assistant coach, Coach Sophie Smith, and Coach Jamie Cadu, who couldn't be here tonight.
Where the picture at? Don't let the picture be frame. What a crew.
Moving on to policy and procedure. A, adopt a resolution to appoint a representative of the Assumption Parish School Board to serve on the local ITEP Industrial Tax Exemption Program Committee. I need a motion.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Honore, second by Ms. Dugas. Discussion.
I would like to recommend Mr. Darrell Daig be our representative. So if there's no objection, I know we have a motion on the floor, but I think he's going to serve us well. He is a community guy, he understands our system and he handles our finances. So I think it'd be very important that we have someone like him representing us on this particular committee.
Agreed.
Absolutely agreed. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 6, budget. A, authorize the superintendent to advertise for food, paper goods, cleaning supplies, chemicals, and milk for the period of July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. I need a motion. Moved by Ms. Barris, second by Mr. Washington. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? B, adopt current millage rates. School district regular, 5.490 meals. I need a motion.
So move.
Moved by Ms. Barris, second by Mr. Mr. Honore. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? School District Number 1, 6.120 meals. I need a motion. Moved by Mr. Abear, second by Mr. Washington. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? School District Number 1, 20.810 meals. I need a motion.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Honore, second by Mr. Abear. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? School District Number 1, 6.970 meals. Need a motion? Moved by Mr. Abear. Second by Ms. Barris. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. C, discuss Assembly Board Management Software fees.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to bring to the board, I know we've been having this discussion about possibly transitioning from our current software that we use for our board meetings, and also legal representation that we receive as it relates to our policies. I just wanted to make sure that I give the board all of the fees that's associated with it. I want to thank Ms. Melissa. She reached out to LSBA and Assembly to provide this to us. So I just wanted to make sure that for further discussions, you all have this information. Also, I just want to point out, Ms. Melissa highlighted at the very end, there will be a fee for copying the current policies we have and placing it into this software. We do not know that fee. It all depends on how much information you have. So that's in addition to what you see here. If we adopt each one of these particular parts of Assembly, we will have another fee depending on how much information we have transitioning over. So it's just for information discussion. Just want to make sure I provide that to you all.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that. I would really appreciate it if we could possibly get like the LSBA team to come so that each one of the board members could actually understand, what we're actually looking at versus board docs, what we have. I know a few of us have had those meetings at some of the conferences that we've attended, but maybe that would be a possibility, as far as not only looking at the monies, but understanding where we're spending it.
Just to be clear, we still with board docs.
Correct.
Just to be clear with every. So,
If this were to be a discussion,
right.
yes.
Ms. Melissa, we probably can, yeah.
Anybody? Okay. Moving on, facilities and grounds. A, discuss Bayou-Laura's primary school site work bid.
Okay, we were supposed to receive the bids yesterday. I made a mistake and uploaded the documents the wrong way to central bidding, so it delayed the bid by 1 week. So we should receive the bids. We issued an addendum before the deadline at 2 p.m. yesterday, and we should receive the bids this time next week. Well, next Tuesday at 2 p.m.
Now, I just have a question. Go ahead, Ms. Honore.
Go from here with that, Dr. B.
And Dwayne, if you don't mind, maybe Tommy could speak to this as well. There is a concern that this project, this particular error can delay the project. We are already anticipating a mid-July completion on this project. And if we have to wait another 2 weeks, this possibly can push the project into early August. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dwayne, that's kind of like what we discussed. So if you want to kind of bring the board up to speed as far as the deadlines and what we have.
So we're looking at having the concrete slab poured for the foundation of the building by July 1. So no one knows what the weather's going to do. I mean, we're seeing what it did, today. I mean, there's no way to pour concrete in this type of weather. So we're not trying to have any further delays. Tommy simply made a mistake of clicking a button. There's one button from another one he clicked. He clicked one button instead of the one below it, human error, so they couldn't submit their bids to us. So we're asking, I'm suggesting if we could have a special meeting just to approve this, to get the work moving forward, it would help us out. We're already in a tight window, and I don't want to wait any longer. But even with that being said, there's some other issues as well. Joseph will speak on those later at the high school we ran into. So if we have this special meeting, it wouldn't just be for this. We can get that work moving again as well, because there's gonna be a change on that job that we may as well just have that brought up at the following meeting as well and get everything rolling again and get things moving. So, but it was just like I said, it was a honest mistake. We got phone calls and everybody, nobody submitting, and we had phone calls, people were very interested. And then the phone started blowing up, email went crazy, and no one could submit it the way it was set up. So there's people that's very interested in it.
I would say we had 5 or 6 bids.
Yeah, I know I had 3 phone calls and an email, so that was at least 4 there, plus Tommy received calls and Stephen as well. But anyway, the point is that we need to expedite this, to get this work done.
So what is our legal advice? I think you have to move forward with setting a special meeting. It's okay to do. Yes, and that'll, again, the timeframes are gonna be the timeframes. There's gonna be things out of our control that are gonna pop up, as they always do. However, the special meeting, I think, is imperative in order to get this all moving forward the way that we need.
And I feel like with everything going on and all the projects we have going on around the district, we're going to run into some problems. We're going to have special meetings.
Correct. So what I was recommending earlier is that maybe we can convert this agenda item to an action item, make a motion to do that, as well as to set the special meeting, ask for public comment, and then vote on moving forward.
And just to be clear, the special meeting date will be next Wednesday at 6 o'clock, or whatever time the board chooses.
Right, we will receive the bids on a Tuesday, make a recommendation, and at the Wednesday meeting.
Next Wednesday is the what? What's the date?
Bids will be in on Tuesday, is what I was saying. Wednesday,
The 14th.
Next Wednesday, the 14th.
Yes.
What are you saying?
bids will be in on Tuesday.
Okay.
And then we can come to the board on Wednesday with the recommendation.
Good.
So do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Public comment.
Okay, any public comment on this item? Going once, 2, 3.
Public
Okay.
comment closed.
So I would need a,
To add it to the agenda, so you need a unanimous vote to add it to the agenda.
okay, so Ms. Melissa, can you take a roll call vote to have we need it to be unanimous to be able to pass this?
Yes.
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 Motion passes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to vote on the item. Do I ask for a motion for that? So
Yeah.
I do need a motion for that.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Abear. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah.
Motion passes. Okay. B, approve bid for PPE French Hall HVAC project. I need a motion. Moved by Ms. Orso, second by Ms. Dugas. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? C, receive information on options for security upgrade project at Pierreport Elementary School.
Thank you, Madam President. This item is added. The last meeting we had, Mr. Dwayne, as well as DDG, presented to us options as it relates to the security project at Pierreport. And I know we had some additional items that we wanted to add or discuss adding. So we're just trying to present some different options to you all. And if you don't have to go with any one of those options, but if we just need some guidance and say, okay, where do we want the fence to be? Do we want the fence to cover just the playground area, the primary school side? We just need some guidance in there so we can move forward. I know the canopy is in there as well as far as part of this project. I know that might be some discussion about, hey, is that truly part of security? No matter what, I think we still have to fix the canopy, whether we do it a part of this project or not. I think we still have to fix the canopy, and I think it's going to be much cheaper if we do it in-house. You know, when you start talking about engineering fees and things like that, it can get a little bit more expensive, but those are just some things that we need to kind of finalize so we could bring the proposal back to the board for approval. So right now, I'm just taking any type of suggestions or anything that we need to do so we could get this project up and running. And I'll answer any questions. Dwayne is here, as well as DDG is here as well to answer any questions anyone may have.
I think the board did express that we were very concerned, you know, to have the fencing around the playground area for these kids. That's very important to me. I can speak for myself. I do see some things that can possibly be in-house, as you discussed. Just by looking at it, there's a few things. I know security is top priority. That's my top priority. I know that, you know, some of the things are leaking, like the overhangs and stuff. I did notice where is the new ground mount LED monument sign. I think that's definitely a good idea. I don't know if it needs to be in the scope, the security scope. Maybe we can, you know, see if, I don't know if that can be in-house or if we could get bids on that as well. It's just my suggestion.
I'll ask that we walk the campus so we can see, and I'll ask again that we have a meeting that we can walk the campus and see what's the intentions of what you want to put, where we want to go.
I'm open to that whenever you guys want to walk.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Yeah.
That'd be good.
Thank you.
Any other discussions or anything that we need
I'll
to take
just
back?
reiterate what Bambi said. I
Yeah.
think the entire playground needs to be fenced. I don't think, I feel like leaving that unfenced still leaves the kids vulnerable to somebody walking on campus. And, you know, we need to keep them safe.
Okay, I understand your discussion and everything. The question is gonna be if we're gonna consolidate and it's gonna be an elementary school, or we're gonna fence in for the elementary side and the middle school is gonna remain open with the security on that side of the campus as far as being locks and the whole school side being locked in. So there's, like Ms. Dot said, to walk it is gonna be the real way to figure this out. If amongst yourselves, if you have a budget that you want to use, that way that would help us to know what we can and cannot put, because we can walk all day and come up with 1 million ideas. As you can see, this can go from a $500,000 to $1.5 million in a minute. So it's just going to be a thought process of prioritizing what's what, security being number one, fencing quite naturally, and then how big you want to go with the fencing. Like Dr. B said, the canopy we put in, it was part of hurricane damage. So we just figured while we was doing all the construction, we was gonna put it in there. I can take care of that in-house, the sign, we can get a price on those things we can pull out.
Cleaning of the building,
But
painting and all that.
just when we walk, just have that thought in mind, and maybe amongst yourselves, if you have a budget that you want to set for it, then we can, if we're getting out of control, we can kind of rein back into that number.
And I think just
Having the discussion 3 and 4 more times, I would like to come back and have something final to vote on the next time we come here.
Yes.
I would encourage to talk to the principal, people that boots on the ground, people, it's because we want to make sure that the
Absolutely.
campus can
Absolutely.
be functional for the kids, for the parents, and for the staff.
Right, because they're going to play in the large field as well, I'm sure, even though it's elementary school.
Field
they're gonna go
day,
on that side.
3rd through
We
5th
have new
grade will be
goals
there.
they put up, so it may be that we fence in the whole campus. It's just something we're going to have to determine. Like I said, if we have a number to work off of, we can work backwards from that number and see what we can fit into that number that we're going to use.
Could you give us a little bit of information on the NPS security project, what we did there, in NMS, and also what we did at the high school, to kind of give us an idea, because I know we're talking about the elementary schools. So can you give me an idea of what we did for the Napoleonville primary school site?
So at Napoleonville Primary, we did the 1-point entry, and then we fenced the entire campus. So anytime the kids outside of the building, they contain in the fence. Anyone visiting the school has to go through that entry point to get in. The high school is a little different, and Napoleonville Middle, because of the high school has a road through the middle of it as well as Napoleonville Middle. So it's much more difficult to secure with the road, with the buses in and out and everything else like the high school. I mean, you go into the stadium, we have people in and out all day long, deliveries. So we only did the 1-point entry at the high school. With that being said, there's a certain level of security there. Once we finish Badge Pass and the door project, I mean, we can lock all our schools. But there, even though, once kids get out of the building, they're still exposed if someone's on campus. So, I mean, it's just gonna be, if my thought process, and I spoke to Dr. B, if we fence it in schools, I mean, we'd almost have to fence in all the schools to only be fair. I mean, whether you cut off which child is more important than the other, what age group is more important. I mean, they're all important. So, but again, Napoleonville Middle and the high school didn't get the fence because fencing the high school would require a lot of mechanical gates. I think we was 1.7 originally at the high school with the fencing. And I don't remember the exact number we came back at with Napoleonville Middle.
The total for Napoleonville Primary, Napoleonville Middle School, and the high school is like at about 900,000. The total for all three. So that's just going to give you an idea of how much
Right.
we spent
Right.
on all three projects, security-wise. Now, I do know we added a little bit more
think it was
because of
7 something, I
the
believe,
canopy
all of
and stuff like that. So if you're thinking just security, give you an idea, we spent 917,000 at the high school, Napoleonville Middle, and Napoleonville Primary, which I think Napoleonville Primary probably was the most because of the fencing.
Because of the fencing.
You will spend much more money trying to fence
Right.
in the park, the school. So, and something to keep in mind, I think we do have that gate, and I know we discussed that last time, where a lot of kids come from the backside of the community. Also, the community does use the parking lot area, the field for the parking lot and different things like that. I don't know if that factors in or not, but that's something maybe possibly to think about. But we'll set up a date, we'll get with Ms. Nicole, and if whatever board members are available, if you would like to come tour the campus, and maybe we can get an idea and then bring something back to full board to at least give us some guidance on what we need to have in it. And then from there, once DDG put that together, then come back to the board with pricing and everything. We'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you. D, update on work completed on AHS two-story building from April 16th, 2025 through May 7th, 2025.
Good evening.
Good evening, John.
Yes, Dr. Bartholomew asked that I provide you with two reports this evening. So the first report is a bulleted item of what was completed from the last meeting unto today's meeting, and I apologize for it not being in your packets ahead of time, but we've actually had meetings and progress stuff that happened as of this morning, which pushed this report back slightly. Between that last meeting and now, the bulleted points are they poured the additional concrete footings needed at the rear of the building. They installed the drop ceiling grid on the second floor, and I do want to add a note to that they have already finished the drop ceiling grid system on the first floor. They poured the concrete pads for the HVAC exterior units as well as the sidewalks that go down both sides. Bricks were delivered on April 22nd. They began the construction scaffolding for the brickwork. They began brickwork on April 28th. Brickwork was halted by the subcontractor on 5/1, and I'll get to that in the following report and how that issue is being resolved. Contractor completed approximately 50% of the timber lookouts. That was the previous change order that I brought to you all for the soffit work that needed to be done. He's got about half of that done, and he's already started putting the finished soffit up on that one side. He's now going to move to the other side. Of course, with the rain and everything and the winds that we had, that was halted a little bit, but he seems to have sped back up on that, and we should get that done actually ahead of what the anticipated schedule was. The electrical subs continued running conduits for the HVAC units, as well as mechanical subs continue to run drain lines. I know it doesn't appear to be when you look at it from the outside, but even with the rain going on today, they had subs working on the interior continuously. I can say from a positive standpoint that I've seen in the last, I would say, 3 work weeks, that the contractor has stepped up the work scheduling a bit, and it seems to be progressing faster. We did have some concerns in the beginning that I brought to you all previously, but he seems to have picked up that work schedule a little bit. So that's a positive thing, and we hope to continue that momentum and help us get this done quicker.
Okay. Update on work to be completed on AHS two-story building from May 7th, 2025 through May 21st, 2025.
Yes, and if you flip to the second page of the report, you'll see the next, just drop down to the bulleted items. This was the 2-week projection schedule provided to me by the contractor as of yesterday afternoon. And it will be updated again, I'm sure, as work progresses and with some of the stuff. But this is what his projected schedule is to continue work on the softened lookouts to finish that other side. He's going to complete the removal of the concrete board at the front and rear of the building, install fire caulking at all the floor penetrations as we start to finish up the AC work on the interior. And then also, if you walked in the inside, you'll see where there's some chases that were built and so forth. So he's going to be installing the sheetrock around those so we can start getting the inside of that building finished up. And then lastly is, of course, complete the installation of the brick veneer to the exterior. To touch on that, and I realized that we reported earlier that brickwork had halted on 5/1. On 5/1, the masonry contractor had noted that the concrete board exterior hadn't been completely removed from between the window frame and the sidewall casing. So he halted the brickwork, as he should, because our inspector also noted the same issue, and we didn't want to continue up with brickwork and cover up something that shouldn't be done. So we began to look at it. We issued contractor sent in an RFI requesting on how to address it. We gave an ulterior design to fix that. We then held a meeting this morning with Dwayne, the contractor, and myself, and I got to hand it to Dwayne. I tried to compliment him, but he shot me down. He was in there with his demo skills, and he actually was able to demo some of the interior wall for us to where we could expose the inside of that window so we could see the extent of where that concrete board went. Well, good thing he did. Because it was able to show us that that concrete board actually continued all the way into the backside of the sheetrock. Now, there are several different ways, including the alternative design that we had provided to address that. After everybody meeting and saying, hey, look, we want to be one and done. We want to get this done and done right. In looking at it, we decided it would be the best thing for the school to go ahead and remove each window, remove that exterior concrete casing, and we're going to install a metal flashing around every window and seal it. That way there will be no more possibility of water intrusion of the building. You have to remember, and I know some of you do, that building was originally all metal panel walls and glass. There was no air conditioning. There was no insulation. There was no stud framing. Sometime approximately, I think it was 2002, the metal wall panels were removed. We put up stud walls. We retrofitted the walls. We put retrofitted windows in, and then they finished it with the concrete board in different finishes. That's what they could afford to do at the time. At the time, it was not in the budget to brick it. That's where we ended up today. It was in your budget to brick it this time. But as with anything else, when you start opening walls and cutting things back, you're gonna see some things. Also, that was exposed is we were able to see there was some rot or damage, not around all windows, but some of the windows we did see some water intrusion and some rotten interior plywood. So my inspector went around the entire building today. We did a count on every window and were able to kind of scratch and find that damaged area. So the end result is we're going to be providing the contractor with the new design for the window flashing and so forth. We actually completed that drawing today. Those will be issued to him by tomorrow evening after I have a chance to review everything, as well as have him address all of the interior rot that we find and get that removed. That will require, and it will be, once I obtain those prices, we will be bringing that back to the board for approval. And I think that's what the superintendent was alluding to. That might be something that be placed on a special meeting. That way, if it is a reasonable price and we can recommend to move forward, we want to keep that work going. And lastly, I know it was a question regarding the the front canopy and bus system that was discussed at today's meeting. I have not received the documentation that I had requested from the contractor. However, we did have a good discussion, and we have agreed that we are going to meet. We're going to set a special meeting between us. I'm going to sit down and find out, we're going to discuss what are the issues, or what are his concerns with the design plan and what you all were presented with. We're going to work that out, figure out whatever we have to do to get his concerns satisfied and get the canopy built to the exterior finish that you all expect and the use that the school wants. And so in closing, I will be coming back to you in the next coming weeks with some recommendations on how to take whatever appropriate actions we need within the terms of your contracts to see what we have to do to expedite these things, because we are trying to get this done for school. And lastly, one thing that was discussed, we did talk about a possible, once he finishes the interior, giving us some type of partial occupancy where we wouldn't allow children to come in the building as of yet, but we could at least let faculty in to start setting up classrooms, moving furniture in, getting things going so that we're ready to start for that following school year.
I have a question, Doc. Sorry. It kind of brings back a point that I made last meeting with things that we should be able to foresee in some instances with these. The issue of the window issue, with the boards being there where you had to remove the window to remove the boards. We had to reseal them. This work was previously done by your firm. That's one of the things I'm talking about with, we could foresee these things coming without having to stop work and go through 2 or 3 more weeks of revisions, new design, new plan, restart work. I'm just going to say that for the record again. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse.
No, I understand.
But this is something that we could have foreseen because your firm actually did that work before, and you had the design that you could go back and look at and say, oh, this is how it is, this is how it needs to be done, rather than getting into the project and then having to adjust and put us 2 or 3 more weeks behind.
And you're correct. And some of that speaks to, we did go back to the previous designs. I will say this, there were some discrepancies with the as-built and so forth that were provided and so forth, but that is not your concern, that's my concern. And so you're 100% correct. It is something that we hindsight's 20/20. It would be lovely if I could have gone in there and started opening and cutting walls, but we unfortunately didn't have the luxury of doing that while students are in the buildings. The other aspect of that is I agree with you that it would have been great from a time standpoint to have caught it ahead of time. And so that would have saved us time. So with that, we do the best we can, and we'll try to do better.
I understand. I think it was originally suggested that the windows would have to be removed on the project, but it was not taken into account.
That was discussed, and ultimately it was a design decision. So we do take responsibility for that. We were trying to see. You have to understand, we are working within. We have a short window. Even Dwayne and I were discussing today. We talk about, hey, we're going to do this over the summer, where there's no time. There's no time when that campus is not moving, working. It's 24/7, even every day of the summer. So we're trying to compress some of these construction schedules, and we made a decision. We moved with it, and so we're having to come back and rectify that. And I understand your concerns.
Gotcha.
All right. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. F.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph.
Sorry.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. F, discussion to pursue planning for addition of classroom building at Byalores Primary.
It was brought up at the last meeting about Byalores Primary. I've been on the board, I think, 23 years now, and this has been a topic of discussion through the years. We started the school in the back, and we had all T buildings. We bought new portables, put them back there. We moved the new portables to the front. We built the cafetorium and the administrative buildings with the plan that in a few years we would eventually build a classroom building. And I just feel like it's time to move forward and do something while we have some money in the fund balance, you know? What we did on little or nothing. So I just think it's time to move forward and roll on and do something for our community in Byalors so that they have a permanent building. This morning speaks for itself. We had stuff flying all over the place. I didn't sleep last night, worried about those kids going to school in mobile homes, basically. You know, in a tornado, where are they gonna go? What are they gonna do? You can't march them outside to the main building in those kinds of conditions. So, you know, we need to do something. It's past time.
I was gonna say that, it's not time, it's past time for that to happen, for that,
Right.
for the community out there, so we need to take this project up and pursue it,
It's been since 1984.
yeah.
I understand so if we're gonna spend over $1 million something right now, how can we turn around and spend more money, not know what the outcome of this is gonna be?
That's a capital outlay plan that the board has to take up. You know, we have to look 5, 10 years in advance. We have to be planning ahead, which Mr. Darrell's doing a great job of getting us what we need to be planning ahead. That's a plan ahead.
I think what Ms. Dott's saying is, we don't know, just like you said with Joseph, we don't know the unknown of that, so
Oh, you
it's
agree with
hard
me
to
now?
plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, regardless, we need.
We need to
a
take up the
permanent
project.
building.
Yeah, get something drawn, get estimates going, get this project rolling. Everybody, if you don't agree that community needs a permanent school site that they can function in and not be in tin cans any longer, then I really don't have any words for you. So we need to, I wasn't speaking to you. Mr. Meyer, I wasn't speaking to you. So if we're going to take it up, let's get the project started. And let's get a scope drawn up. Dwayne can help with that. You know, let's get this process started, just like everything else we've gotten started, to get the community what they need.
Yeah, but we never got those plans. If you recall, the architect kept them for whatever reason. I thought Caillouette kept them.
Should have been for the board.
What's that? Right.
I think that's done in my office, I have to look back to make sure that it's still there. It was a 12-classroom building.
20 years or so?
What is that administrative?
Yeah, at the time, the school would have cost us $4 million.
I mean, if I have them,
I don't know I don't remember what the plans were exactly, but I know it was the full school. It was the full school.
Yeah.
The entire plan.
I worked back there. I was scared for those kids
Well, that's good.
because we're talking about security, so I don't want to spend money we don't need to spend, we plan on spending more money elsewhere. So I talked to Dr. Bartholomew about the security project today in Bayou Lewis, as a matter of fact. So if we're gonna do a security project in Bayou Lewis, and then we're gonna come back and build a building a year or two later, then it's gonna determine on what level of security project I'm doing now. And when I say that, we were speaking of including the sidewalk and the canopy system in that needs to be addressed. Because the building there now, the sand is washing out from the sidewalk is sinking and settling, the front of the school is sinking and settling. So if you have any plans of doing this, and I'm not telling you to make a decision overnight, but we're about to spend money on that site that may be unnecessary if you considering to build a building there. If you want to
The plans we have.
take the
right?
plans that I currently have and review them, and you can mark them up and see what you want to keep in, what you don't want to keep in them, then we can have something just to ballpark a number and bring the number to the board and say it's going to cost between this and this, and then you can agree or disagree on moving forward without holding up the security project any longer.
Are those plans current? Are those plans, or do we need to have more plans drawn up?
I mean, they're not current, but I built my house 7 years ago, and I mean, I can still build it again today. So, I mean, there may be some other stipulations as far as fire marshal, other rules, you know, those things, but I mean, it would give us something to build off of.
So it's
Without
got-
having to hire an architect and spend that money if I have something there as well. Even if you use another plan from another school,
It's
that
got
we built.
the current,
The M
the
building,
current
you can-
occupation of how many kids we have there is what I'm
Correct.
getting at.
So I'm
Yeah.
saying, so if we use the in-building plan just for instance, if we built this building in Bayou Lewis with 12 classrooms, what would this cost us today? Without going to an architect and starting all that expense of paying an architect for that design. The cafetorium is, I don't know, I call it a community center the way it's set up. There's the office area in the front, then you walk into the
Administrative
cafetorium and
offices,
a
a
kitchen.
library.
But there's no
and
classrooms, there's a
no
library and a
classrooms.
computer, well, it's no longer a computer lab, it's something else now, but there's basically 2 rooms in there would be considered a classroom.
The only thing I'm saying is that if we're gonna spend 1.7 million on.
It's gonna be, well,
Building right now. So they that, we are 56 graders that have to build middle school and build a building and then move them there. I can't see us spending all that kind of money.
I'm not getting into that, Ms. Dot, that's not,
Dwayne, was that building, was the plans for the building prior to the cafeteria
That's
being
off
built?
topic, though.
that building design,
Prior.
that building.
That was done before I was on the board.
So can an addition be made to the cafeteria to make one large building?
Not the way it's set up on a campus. I mean, it's a possibility, but with the way it's designed now, the issue is where the portables were placed is where you would come out the side. So you have an issue with moving all of your portables out of the way, resetting all of them to use them, and then building a building and then moving into a building. So
Yes.
Those plans for the next meeting? Or the
yeah, we can have a plan to see, I mean, just something to review. And like I said, we can use any other school building that we built, you know, to kind of look at it and say, or, you know, just to get an idea what 10, 12 classrooms would cost. I mean, that's just up to you all. I'm just concerned about the security project moving forward.
Throughout, I'm thinking about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And what will Assumption Parish School District look like from a facilities and ground standpoint? My question is, do we have a master plan of overall, every school site, every building we own, what do we want it to look like in another 5, 10 years, and then start investing in whatever that is?
Yes.
Me and Dwayne often.
Everyone, look, I'm gonna be honest, in 30 years I've been here, it's been, you get a little piece, 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 and we have little pieces everywhere, but we still don't have the schools we can have. I've been here 30 years,
Nothing
and
new.
I see the same schools I went to
that's a
school
good
in.
So just going back to my point, because I want to make sure that we don't miss an opportunity to develop a master plan that we invest in that may include a building at BLP, that may include a multi-purpose building at Napoleonville Primary, that may include, and the list goes on, that we look at our district as a whole. I'm not saying get everything all at one time, but at least it gives us an idea and a roadmap. This is the direction we're going, and this is where we're going to invest our money. And I don't know if that's a committee of the board.
Well, we need a list of priorities
Yes.
of capital outlay.
So I don't know, I'm just thinking outside the box and trying to think long-term, because me and Dwayne often talk about, we're gonna invest here, but is that something for the future, what we're doing today?
The problem is there's been so much neglect over the years, and I call it piecemealing. We were patching things and getting by and scraping by, and we added a building here and added a building there. But like I told Dr. B, there was no, and I'm not trying to insult anyone, but there was no plan, and so I told him, I mean, if I'm building on my business, I had a plan when I started doing rent houses, how many I wanted to have, you know, where I wanted to go moving forward and where I wanted to be when I retired. And I'm one from that. But I had a plan to be where I wanted to be. And that's what I told Dr. Bartholomew, as a business and running these facilities, patching all these things, I have places that I either sell them or get rid of them because they're no longer worth patching and replacing. So the cost avoidance of me building a new place or buying a new place, you know, is a much better investment for me long term than to keep patching something that's continuously giving problems.
And that's what Ms. Dodd was
So,
getting at. She
that's
wasn't,
what-
Ms. Dodd was not considering not doing anything for the kids of Bylaws.
No. I think she was just making a valid point. I think Miss Andrea is, very passionate in wanting what she wants to, but a master plan, I think, is a
I
great
think
idea.
that's a great idea. And Dr. Bartholomew, he asked me, I said,
Across the board, right?
where are we gonna be in 20 years,
Our
whether we
system,
here or
And
not?
at one time, we did that. We did that with Tibby, but,
I've never
Yeah, this is a different
I'll
board,
go and nothing came
and I
of
say
it.
yeah.
And I get what he says. How many roofs have we put on since we've been on the board?
Yeah.
I mean, and I asked y'all before we started the meeting, didn't we already do that building at Assumption High? Yeah, we did,
Can we develop a committee to look into this?
I would definitely would like that. It would give us at least a good, strong foundation, and then we bring more ideas to the table. And we're talking about not just in a moment in time, we're talking about for future generations, your kids, your grandkids. And I think we might be on the verge of, if you put something together, on the verge of setting the foundation for years to come.
Well, look, when I walked
look
in
at
my
it that way.
office, there was nothing for me, and only thing I had was 30 years, my 20-some years of experience when I walked in my office.
Wow.
The next group coming in here is not gonna have all that. And that's what I told Dr. Bartholomew, even if they don't agree with the plan and they wanna change something on the plan, at least they can see what the thought process was and build off of the thought process, even if they don't wanna follow the plan 100%, or things are gonna change.
And you know what
Students are gonna move.
was an eye-opener? I know we have to move on. What was an eye-opener when we did the security projects? And we have a building over here purchased, and then another building over here, another building, and I'm trying to figure out a way, like, how can we secure and keep all of our,
That building.
and in my mind, I'm thinking, why we just didn't build a building connecting to another building, connecting to another building, and then everybody would be secure within that location, or go build up, like you mentioned about, we can't go wide, but maybe possibly go up. So all of those things are going on in my head when we're trying to figure out the security project, but that goes to Dwayne's point that we purchased this building, and then next year we purchased another building, put it on the same site, but didn't connect it to anything,
Correct.
put another building. So I think it's a great idea if we could come
Patchwork.
together.
Yeah,
Yep.
get a committee together and do an overall study of the whole parish.
Yep.
Yeah, get it in line with all the
Continue
other
looking at
comprehensive stuff.
Bylaws though, because that's,
Well, it
to
needs
me,
to be
that's
priority
the
one.
priority.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
granted, my kids are done, my grandkids are about done with Bylaws. It's not for my kids and grandkids, it's gonna be for somebody else's. Right, right. And I'll those poor little kids this morning, and those poor teachers look like drowned rats out there in front of school this morning, And I know, I've been there.
Thank you,
Oh,
Dwayne.
yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Thank you, Mr. Dwayne, I appreciate it.
Move on, man.
We're gonna,
Say this, because I know everybody's going to be gone when we come out of executive session, but it is Teacher Appreciation Week. And I know somewhere those teachers are listening. I know there's not many here, but I want to wish all the teachers happy Teacher Appreciation Week.
Yes.
Last week, we had Principals Day, so I hope y'all all enjoyed y'all Principals Day last week, and it is School Nurses Day today, so
Ditto.
to all of those people out there.
thank
We
you.
appreciate y'all.
Ditto.
Yes. Any other comments and announcements from Board Member Administration? Okay. 9, executive session. The request is to enter into executive session pursuant to LARS 4217A2 to discuss the status and strategy concerning litigation entitled AF through her parents, RF and AF versus Assumption Parish School Board, docket number 25249, BSL KWR, Division O, Eastern District of Louisiana. I need a motion. Moved by Ms. Dugas, second by Ms. Barris. All in favor? Aye. Enter into executive.